Alright, Trendix fam, let's dive straight in. South Korean shares just hit an all-time high, and you won't believe why. President Lee Jae Myung's decision to scrap that planned tax hike on stock investments has sent the KOSPI soaring, marking a decade-long rally. We're talking major gains for chip makers and financial firms, but what does this mean for the future of South Korean markets? Next up, we're heading to Cleveland for a major shift in how we talk about belonging. Engage. Cleveland is revamping its annual conference, moving away from DEI to Engage, to foster more open conversations. With big names like the Cleveland Cavaliers' Kevin Clayton and the NAACP's Edward Hubbard involved, this is a fresh take on inclusion you don't want to miss. Meanwhile, the economic news out of China is raising some serious eyebrows. August saw key activity readings fall short of expectations, painting a picture of a continuing slowdown. Is Beijing about to roll out fresh stimulus measures to boost its economy? We've got the details that matter. And finally, the passion of French farmers is igniting fresh protests. The FNSEA union, led by Arnaud Rousseau, is calling for a day of action to pressure the government and fight against the EU's Mercosur trade deal. What are their demands, and what kind of action can we expect? Stay tuned to Trendix, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. South Korean stocks just shattered records. In a move that's sending shockwaves through the financial world, South Korea's benchmark KOSPI index has surged to an unprecedented all-time high. This incredible rally, extending for a 10th consecutive session, was significantly boosted by President Lee Jae Myung's decisive action to scrap a contentious plan to increase taxes on stock investments. The Finance Ministry's decision to maintain the current capital gains tax rules has quelled market anxieties and reaffirmed a commitment to revitalizing the stock market. This policy reversal has been a major win for investors, with sectors like securities firms and financial groups seeing substantial gains. Even tech giants Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix posted impressive rises, while battery maker LG Energy Solution held steady. However, not all stocks were winners, with Hyundai Motor and Kia Corp experiencing declines, and K-pop agency HYBE facing scrutiny due to allegations against Chairman Bang Si-hyuk. The market sentiment is overwhelmingly positive, with analysts like Lee Kyoung-min from Daishin Securities noting that this decision puts a full stop to doubts over the government's will to boost the market. Foreign investors are actively participating, showing strong confidence. Don't go anywhere, because the financial tremors from South Korea are just the beginning of our global update. Next, we're diving into a city that's redefining what it means to belong. Cleveland is changing the conversation on belonging. Engage, Cleveland, an organization dedicated to young professionals, is hosting its third annual Develop, Engage, and Inspire conference. This year, they're taking a bold new approach, rebranding from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Conference to focus on belonging. This strategic shift comes after noticing a pullback in interest and sponsorship around the traditional DEI terminology, especially following recent executive orders. Organizers want to ensure maximum participation and keep the core mission of attracting, engaging, and retaining diverse talent in Greater Cleveland at the forefront. President Ashley Basil Oken emphasizes that the new messaging creates a safe, non-political space for open dialogue during challenging times. The conference will feature dynamic sessions, including panels and fireside chats, with notable speakers like Kevin Clayton, Chief Impact Officer for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Edward Hubbard, Executive Director of the NAACP Cleveland branch. The theme, Building a Cleveland Where You Belong, aims to make inclusion tangible across various sectors. They've also partnered with Playhouse Square for a special bundle deal, aligning with their vision of accessibility and connection. This inclusive spirit is vital, but what happens when economic pressures threaten stability? Prepare for a look at a major global economy facing significant headwinds. China's economy is signaling distress. August data from China reveals a continued economic slowdown, with key performance indicators falling short of market expectations. This trend has intensified speculation that the Chinese government may be compelled to introduce fresh stimulus measures to counteract the downward momentum and support growth. The persistent weakness in economic readings raises concerns among analysts and investors about the resilience of China's recovery. The government faces increasing pressure to implement effective policies that can reignite economic activity and restore confidence in the market. The specifics of any potential stimulus packages and their impact remain a key focus for global economic observers. While China grapples with its economy, another nation is seeing its core industry take a stand. Get ready for the sights and sounds of French farmers demanding action. French farmers are gearing up for more action. The FNSEA, France's largest farmers' union, has announced a new day of action to protest what they perceive as the government's neglect of the agricultural sector. Led by Arnaud Rousseau, the union is urging farmers to participate in a significant demonstration aimed at pressuring the incoming government and reiterating their strong opposition to the EU's Mercosur trade deal. Unlike previous protests that involved roadblocks, this upcoming action on September 26th will focus on demonstrations outside supermarkets, prefectures, and government departments. Hervé Lepai, secretary of FNSEA, stated the goal is to remind people of the importance of our food sovereignty and to say that French consumers' plates must respect what we impose on ourselves as producers. This move highlights a growing concern that French agriculture is at risk of being abandoned, mirroring past industrial declines. While other farming unions have yet to confirm their participation, the FNSEA's independent action signals a determined push for policy changes and greater support for the nation's farmers. These farmer protests underscore a global theme of economic and social pressures. But first, let's catch you up on the biggest stories we covered today. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. South Korean stocks hit a record high after a tax hike was scrapped in Gauge. Cleveland is redefining inclusion with a fresh conference approach. China's economy continues to show signs of slowing, and French farmers are announcing new protests. Don't miss out on the next big update. Smash that like button, subscribe to Trendix, ring that notification bell, drop a comment below, and follow us on all our socials. We'll see you next time.